Yo, what's up guys, your boy Nitrostorm here, welcome back to Snowbreak Containment Zone. So, first things first, as you can see, they unfortunately delayed the scheduled maintenance that was supposed to happen today on July 27th, and the specific maintenance time and update will be announced at a later date, so we actually currently don't know when it's going to arrive, so feels bad. But they did say please stay tuned for the follow-up announcement. Thank you for understanding and sorry for any inconvenience. Now that's out of the way.
Don't get near Wild Hunt.
As you can see in front of you, we do have Lyfe Wild Hunt today. So if you saw my previous video on Acacia Kaguya, we're essentially going to be doing a similar thing for Lyfe. So without further ado, we're going to be taking a look at her skills as a baseline. Alright, so we're now in game with our trusty stage here with the blue stuff for the ult. In any case, she is a submachine gun user. As you can see, you know, the range not that good, right? You have to be kind of like mid to close range, and the spread isn't too bad, but there is quite a bit of spread compared to pistols. We don't have much spread, and the aim down sight does help with that a little bit. Now her first skill shoots out these things, and then they charge over time. We can talk more about that later on, but anyways, it charges up automatically over time, right? But there's already one thing that I don't like, and I'll just mention it right now.
Quickly as possible, folks.
Assuming she's there, right? She switched out. Let's just do her support skill for now. Very nice range there, freezes enemies if possible. But in any case, what I don't like about Lyfe Wild Hunt is that when you switch her out after fully depleting her E, and then you switch back to her, unfortunately the bar, the charging for her E doesn't charge up whilst she is off field, which I believe pretty much defeats the purpose of why her E is such low cost. Right, it only costs 5, it recharges over time. I thought it was going to be like where I use the E, I switch out to someone else, and then allowing me to use her support skill, and then afterwards switch back, and then her E would be up. But no, unfortunately that's not the case. I'm not sure if they're going to do something about that, but I believe it kind of defeats the purpose of having a very low cost E if I wanted to switch to someone else just to use her support skill, which in turn would be negative DPS perhaps if your Lyfe Wild Hunt was your main DPS in the first place. Now in any case, let's take a look at her ultimate.
Enemy forces.
So right here.
To the snow.
You know, pretty nice range, hits pretty hard, and does a lot of damage. And then I'll quickly show her support skill.
Sure.
Again, pretty nice range. Also freezes enemies.
Leave it to me.
And obviously her E automatically targets, I think, the enemy that you're aiming at, right? And obviously after it runs out, it goes away. So gameplay wise, you know, it's not as complex as Acacia Kaguya. You know, like we don't need to really analyze the ult and stuff because, you know, it's pretty straightforward. But in any case, now let's take a look at her skills in more detail. So this is the first skills, the E, the one that shoots out the little things. They call it a stream of frost fangs, right? Trigger explosion when hitting an enemy or the ground, dealing AoE frost damage. Once it's fired, it will not be interrupted, and then firing a frost fang consumes 25 breath of snow, which is the little light blue bars that you see going up slowly over time. And then when frost fang firing stops, you recover 30 snow per second, and then frost fang firing can be manually stopped. And then the max breath of snow is at 300, so 10 seconds for it to fully charge, which I don't like, as I mentioned before, because it doesn't charge whilst she is off field, which again defeats the purpose of why she has a low cost standard skill. And then here are her neural skills for the standard skill. It just adds a 10% chance to apply freeze on the E, and the freeze lasts for 3 seconds, and you can't freeze the same targets within 15 seconds. And then the second one, when Breath of Snow is full, increases the final damage of Frost Wolves by 30%. Now, if you're kind of confused on what that means, it's basically after all the damage calculations and stuff, that final damage is boosted by 20%, assuming the Breath of Snow is full before you cast the E. Now next up you have the support skill. This is the one where she goes around, does a nice AoE, and then freezes enemies for 4 seconds, and also applying a frostbite effect, which is a damage over time frost damage effect for 5 seconds. And then her neural skills are pretty nice, right? This one increases the range even further, increases it by 50%, and increases the duration of frostbite effect to 10 seconds, which used to be 5, essentially doubling the damage of the frostbite effect. And the second one, when Lyfe or other operatives apply frozen effect to the enemy target, an additional frostbite effect of Wolf's Fang will be applied to the target, which is nice. You know, extra damage as long as you have someone else that also applies frozen, or like as long as you have other sources of applying freeze, then you can essentially get free damage from Lyfe without her even needing to be on the field. And then last but not least, well I guess last and kind of least, her ultimate. Her ultimate is pretty straightforward, just nice decent frontal range attack, dealing frost damage obviously, and then freezing the targets in the area for 4 seconds. The neural skill increases that frozen effect to 6 seconds, so an increase of 2 seconds, and then a very niche neural skill upgrade. So if a target is frozen by the ultimate and the target's HP becomes lower than 5% of their max HP after the frozen state ends, the target will be instantly defeated. So it's kind of like just helping out when defeating multiple enemies, but overall it's not really an effective neural skill in my opinion. Her most effective ones are basically her E, because this is the one that you would spam the most. And then second place would probably be her her support skill, assuming you'd like to switch on her. But again, as I want to emphasize this a lot, when you switch out, her Breath of Snow doesn't recharge, which I find counterintuitive because of the fact that she has a very, very low cost standard skill, which allows her to use her support skill without any worry. So, you know, if I would like a change for her, please make it so that she can charge Breath of Snow while she's not on the field, allowing her to be a very effective sub DPS, right? As she goes in, uses E, switches out, uses support skill while someone else shoots, and then she comes back in, uses E, and then switch back out. You know, I feel like that's like a very nice kind of gameplay, you know, wild hunt. You know, she sounds like a wolf, she's wolf based, and wolves normally, like, you know, they take opportunities to strike, and I believe being a sub DPS is kind of like taking that opportunity to strike. But in any case, lastly, her Deiwos alignment, her skill damage of her skill damage of her in general increases by 7%, so general skill damage, and then for each 100 alignment index she gains an extra 3%, and then damage dealt towards target under frozen effect increases to 150%. This is the second upgrade, by the way. It's not this strong initially. In fact, if you reset, oh actually I can't change that, apologies. I can only get up to, yes, that's the second upgrade, you know, so, you know, bear with me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The last things would be her manifestations. Her first one is very effective. This allows her to basically become more of a main DPS, right? I guess this is the reason why she doesn't charge off field, because otherwise this first manifestation would essentially become kind of useless. And then her second, but yeah, just to clarify, her first skill, when you shoot with your weapon, as long as it's frost based, you get extra 10 Breath of Snow when you hit a target, 15 if it's a weak spot. So, you know, you can spam her E all day long with that. And then her second one is just increase the final damage of her E by 5%, max 5 stacks. The third one, again, based on her E. Again, based on her E, I believe, yep. And then lastly, her Manifestation 6, again, based on her E. So as you can see, all of her manifestations are based off of her E. That's why I recommend you maxing out both of her standard skill Neuronics. And then for manifestation, minimum manifestation 1, as it allows you to spam her E more often, and the other 4 manifestations are there just as a bonus. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Lyfe Wild Hunt. I know that I mentioned that I didn't like one certain aspect about her, but the reason for that is because of her manifestation 1, which essentially, you know, makes her charge up the E skill much faster, the standard skill. And if you were able to charge up her standard skill while she's off field, it kind of lessens the need for her manifestation 1. But you know, it would have been nice to have it, but you know, it is what it is. In any case, if you got any more questions in regards to Lyfe Wild Hunt, do let me know down in the comments below. Overall, I think she is a fun character. People might think she's a bit lacking. I currently find her a bit lacking, only because I don't have a Frost submachine gun. Out of all of this, none of them are Frost, right? Oh, I stand corrected. I got Frost now. In any case, ignore that. I think she'll be fine now because I got a Frost weapon. But yeah, overall I find her gameplay fun. And if you do have Lyfe, you know, don't be mad or don't be sad. She is just fine. I find her fun to play. And so, you know, that's pretty much it. If you got any more questions in regards to Lyfe Wild Hunt or anything in general, let them know in the comments below. It's been your boy Nitrostorm. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Peace.